Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory. Today it's a special video because Mourinho's back speaking. He released an exclusive interview at Il Corriere dello Sport to Ivan Zazzaroni. And what an interview it is. I have to be honest with you. I've spent the last hour trying to break up this interview, get the juicy parts linked with Roma and put them in this video. And this interview made me tear up because it's a real interview. It's an honest interview. And it's an interview which makes you literally infiltrate in José's mind. And I'm going to try my best here to just use my words to tell you what he said and leave you a great impact after this video. Now, obviously, the interview was a long interview. Not everything was linked with Roma. A lot of his questions were linked to past experiences. Obviously, this being a Roma fan channel, I got the Roma parts. He speaks about the transfer window, about Budapest, about this experience, this Roman experience, and it is great to hear. So get your snacks. It's going to be a pretty long one. Get your Snickers, get your juicy watermelons, get your beers, get all of that, and enjoy this video. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to start off by reading this, which is an extract from this interview, and it's probably the most touching part of it. I came to Rome to transmit the responsibility of winning. Even if we don't usually win, our goal is to teach to win. The contradiction between our ambitions and our potential intrigues me. Our objective is always to win the next game. Budapest has been one of the greatest human experiences that I have ever lived because I saw everything. I saw a procession of Romanismo. I saw people who didn't eat for weeks because of anxiety. I saw a group of warriors on the pitch. And I saw the passionate people who work inside Trigoria all united. I saw fans who chased a dream. And I saw the tears of all these fans. I feel like the father of this team. And this is why I said to my players, I will stay here next year for you. If Budapest was almost a dream, we'll try again in Dublin. Wow. Wow. Wow, because this is true. This is true. This is, some interviews are fake. This is true. This is coming from his heart. And it makes you realize how important he is to this club and to this city. Because you see, a great football manager obviously needs to win on the pitch by using winning style methods. And what fans remember of managers is what they won. Well, you see, in an environment and an atmosphere like this one, that's not true. We don't remember managers because they win, because we don't win much. We remember managers because of the impact they left. And the impact that Josè Mourinho has left to this team is something which no other manager will ever do. This is why I keep saying Mourinho till we die. Because yes, his tactics might be outdated, but Mourinho's more than that to this team. Mourinho has established this link where he actually feels like a father to all of us. And he is putting himself forward to protect this team. Listen to this back carefully. The contradiction between our ambitions and our potential intrigues me. The manager who has defined the word AS Roma in a sentence. Where do you find that? Where do you find that anywhere else? You don't. Because he understands this atmosphere. He understands what the fans want. He understands the empathy between him and the fans. No other manager will do that. So it is obviously there's going to be a future without him. But what will the future be like? There is obviously going to be a future. You know, Roma's almost 100 years old. That means that Roma's gone through 100 years of future. Always next year, next year, next year. 100 times. There is going to be a future. And we're going to be here watching and admiring this future. I'm going to be here commenting and being the main person of this community in this future. But I just want to picture you, what will this future be like? It might be a great future. It might be a terrible future. But all this empathy that has been created, what will happen to that? That's something that we'll come back to in a few years. Second question is, do you regret having signed for Roma? No, absolutely not. A manager like me doesn't normally join a project like this one. Now I can say that Roma is my second life. And you see, I think as much as we got gifted something by this man, we also gifted him something. Because something which he will repeat in this interview is how he changed as a man. And this project helped him to change as a man. You know, nowadays, Mourinho is not the person he was 10 years ago or 5 years ago. He still protests a lot, but that's because it's his character. It's in the box. It's in your personality box. You can't get anything out. You can't put nothing in. He's 6 years old now. He certainly can't change the personality you're born with. But he said it himself. Nowadays in football, I search new things. I search more moral things, more humane things. And I don't only care about winning. Winning is always my priority. But it's not just that anymore. What are you searching for now as a manager? So after what? How many years of managerial career? What is he searching as a manager, apart from winning trophies? Happiness. This is what he says. A few days ago, we commented on the words of Pope Francis in Lisbon. Because Pope Francis, in August, he's currently in Portugal, Lisbon, for this, it's basically a few days where students, kids, people from all ages, but more specifically young ages, gather together to speak about happiness and all of these things. And this event is currently going on in Lisbon. And he said, I search happiness. A few days ago, we commented on the words of Pope in Lisbon. And he said, you have to laugh. You have to joke. You have to think positively. This is what I transmit to this Roma team. Why? Why? By the way, sorry, I've got like a cold, plus a little bit of a hay fever, plus this interview got me like going wow. So excuse me, my nose keeps on falling apart. Why did Mourinho manage to create such a family with these players? Because these players, apart from Dybala, aren't outstanding players. But yet, why is there this feeling of family? Why do all of them love themselves so much? Because what Mourinho transmitted to them is, you have to laugh, you have to joke, you think positively. You see, this interview is not a tactical interview. It's not me, Mourinho, going, "Great, and this season I'm going to play with a 3-5-2. It's Mourinho speaking about this experience, which changed the life and the perspective of a lot of fans. But also, the fans and this experience changed him as a person. And continuing to this, you have to laugh, you have to think positively, you have to joke. He goes on and says, "This is why I take pictures with imaginary strikers. I am not provoking the ownership. I am the first one that needs to respect them." Now, don't get me wrong. All of those Instagram messages and hints which he sends are 100% aimed to try and accelerate some deals. But he's saying that the big goal of those hints and images is not to provoke the ownership. Because I'm a professional player, the ownership pays me. So I need to be the first one to set the example and respect them. But it's just me having fun. It's just me creating a sense of humor. Because that's what he's searching for in these his last years of a managerial career. I don't know. But this is what he's searching for. When I signed for Roma, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. I needed a new experience which would help my moral state. Real Madrid, Chelsea, what else? Inter on the treble. He needs a new experience. He's 58 years old when he joins Roma. He needs a new experience. An experience where you don't win in the first year. Something which in past teams, win every year. He joins a team where the project is very simple. Start making the team a more winning mentality prone team. Start this exponential project. And I took this challenge. So you see, when people on the media write, Mourinho's furious because he can't get his players. Mourinho's furious because of that. Mourinho's furious because of X and Y. Mourinho knows all of these things. The reason why he signed this contract is because he's seeking for a new experience and therefore have different visuals of this new experience. Do we all think that when the Fredkins called him in to describe him about this project, they did not mention that we were targeted by financial fair play? Do people actually think that? Then why did he sign the contract? Because he needs this new experience. And he decides to take this challenge. He knows what he's getting into. Transfer sanctions, referee sanctions. Roma's not a big team with a manager which not a lot of people love. Hate triggers. These are all aspects of this experience which he knew he was gonna take on. And isn't it the beauty of it? Would we ever see Pep take a challenge like this one? Would we ever see maybe Klopp take a challenge like this one? I have fun through difficulties. I may get mad for 1 hour and then I get back to being myself. I don't get depressed. I don't say that the owners promised me seas and mountains and I didn't receive seas and mountains. But I can't change the person I am. Be careful here. What I am saying is not that he can't be disappointed. Because of course he can be disappointed. And the truth is that he is disappointed by this transfer window. But to say that he's furious, to say that him and Pinto are in a war against each other, does it help the environment? Does it stabilize the environment? It doesn't. Maybe Mourinho wants player X and he can't get player X and therefore he'll be a bit disappointed. But listen to this again. I have fun through difficulties. And this is a life message to everybody. Difficulties are just harder, easier experiences. Are just obstaculated, easier experiences. Difficulties aren't impossible. Difficulties are just challenging yourself to maybe work harder or ask for more. And this is why he said, maybe I may be disappointed for 1 hour, but then I'm back being the person I am, and I can't change this. This is just, we're getting into sociology and psychology here. We can't change the person who we are. Mourinho can't change the person he is. There will be people who love it, people who hate it. He can't change it. I can't change the person I am. There are going to be people which love me watching this video, and there are going to be people which hate me. And I have nothing against that. Because I can't change the person I am. And this is with everybody here. And then he goes on to speak about Pinto. This is interesting because in these past weeks, obviously, a lot of what the media wrote is that Pinto and Mourinho don't speak. Pinto and Mourinho are in a war against each other. And this is what he says regarding this transfer window and Thiago Pinto. Improvements can always be made on the transfer window. But to say that me and Pinto are at war against each other and that I am not happy is very wrong. Pinto knows that we are delayed. I know that we are delayed. The owners know that we are delayed. Some people may have a different perspective from mine, but I always had an incredible relationship with every ownership I had, apart from Tottenham Hotspur. So effectively what he's saying here is, I may have a different opinion from Pinto, which maybe has a different opinion from the Fredkins. And that's normal, that's life. But we all, every day of the week, of the year, work together to bring these opinions together and satisfy all of them. So when you read on the media, Mourinho won't speak to Pinto anymore, is that common sense? Is that sensible enough, mature enough of a manager like Mourinho, who's declared love to this team, to not speak with the general director? No, it's not. Again, they may have contrasting opinions, but they work together to satisfy every's demand. And then obviously Ivan Zazzaroni asks him about the style of game. It's been criticized a lot lately. It's been the main reason of why Roma received a lot of hate in these years. After that Bayer Leverkusen game, you open up the comment section of our Instagram post and everybody was hating against us because everybody calls us anti-football. And José says, you never start to not win. Every time I hear the word style of play, I know it's lies in a world where pragmatism and meritocracy no longer exist. Exploiting the power of social media made opinions get made way too easily. He doesn't care about what other people say, because this is something which he's carried on in every team he has. To win, the most important thing is winning. Winning, winning, winning. How you win doesn't care. The fans won't remember how you lifted a trophy. The fans will remember if you lifted a trophy. So he is going against everybody and kind of going, I don't care how I play, but the way I've been playing, I've won a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. Nowadays, the style of game we have and the way Mourinho plays can be said that it's outdated. But if this style of play is outdated, then why did a team like Roma, with no outstanding football player apart from Paulo Dybala, reach 2 European finals consecutively? And he's asking this question to everybody who feels like they're the managers. You know, because everybody, it's very easy to go, oh yeah, our style of play is terrible. Are you the manager? No, you're not. Did you bring this team to reach 2 consecutive European finals? No, you didn't. It's him who did all of this. So people can criticize this, but at the end of the day, it's the facts which say the truth. It's the statistics and the statements which speak the truth. And then obviously, this is the interesting part. This is the interesting part. Because he starts to speak about referees. And he starts to, you can tell how all of this mediatic war against Roma and referee war against us has damaged him as a person. And then he goes on to speak about some behind the scenes about Budapest. He starts off this referee topic by saying, in Italy, I feel assaulted. They violated my freedom of man, my freedom of football, my freedom of speech. I am scared to receive more red cards. But at the end of the day, I do all of this to protect this club and these fans which I have fallen in love with. Again, Mourinho declaring love. Again, we are seeing a person putting himself in front of everybody for the club to benefit, for the fans to benefit. And this again shows you the link between the manager and the fans. All of the events which happened this year, after the Monza game, after the Bologna game, where he got disqualified, where he was seen to have brought a microphone on the pitch and he couldn't do that, and them suspending him for... He feels damaged, and he's saying it publicly. I feel assaulted in Italy because the referees and the referee association are neglecting and violating my freedom of speech. So we have an injured and hurt manager who is forced to manage his players and will continue to manage his players by putting himself forward. And if he gets that red card, it's because he needs to sacrifice himself in order for this team to benefit. And then he goes on to Budapest and says, fucking disgrace was not directed to Taylor. He wasn't there. It was directed to his assistants. That's something which I didn't know. That's a revelation. That's a background story. You know, those fucking disgrace which he said at the end of Budapest were not directed to Taylor. And you see how nowadays with social media, everybody blames Mourinho for things which he didn't do. I'm pretty sure everybody here heard the rumors going, the opinions going, Mourinho saying fucking disgrace to Taylor triggered the fans' events at the airport against Taylor. How is that true if our manager has said that those fucking disgrace weren't directed to the referee but to his assistants? Social media is dangerous. Social media is vile. Social media is fake. And again, we have Mourinho who got criticized, hated, assaulted for something which he did do, but to a person which the media got wrong. The next day, the airport case happened, and I was advised by a UEFA friend, to censor and apologize for what happened. I said, if UEFA and Taylor don't apologize to Roma fans, I will not apologize. This sums up what I have been saying in these past 23 minutes. What he is doing is for us. So people keep on hating. People keep on hating unnecessarily. All of the things this man is doing for us Roma fans are for us. Because he loves us. And after reading this statement, which he said, I'm going to read it again. Somebody told me, a UEFA friend, told me to censor and apologize for what happened at the airport, when I wasn't even the main cause of what happened at the airport. I said, if UEFA and Taylor don't apologize to Roma fans, I will not apologize. I went to Dan Fredkin and said, from now on, until the day the sanction against me will be released, I will be the target of the media. They will hate on me, but I have decided this. However, you need to guarantee more support next season. My opinion, the little disappointment which Mourinho has in his Roma experience is not related to the transfer window. It's related to the lack of support. Mourinho is way more pissed about him lacking support and being too isolated than the transfer window. 100%. 100%. 100%. And I'm going to say another thing. I'm almost at the end. if this year he feels less isolated, he's gonna extend that contract, because he's understood one thing, that this experience will not be copied anywhere else. He can go back to Madrid. He can go back to Chelsea. He is in the middle of an experience where he is seen as the god of this city. And he knows that if this god leaves, this city will continue to live, but will have difficulties in living. I've said it. I have said it. I may be proved wrong. I may be proved right. In this interview, he doesn't publicly say this, but with all of these little details of his affection to this fan base and to this team, what Mourinho's effectively saying is, if the offer comes of me extending the contract, I will put pen on paper. Long story short, if Dan Fredkin tomorrow presents me a contract saying, I want you to stay, I will put pen on paper. 100%. I am convinced about this. And sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. I am convinced about this. And then he goes on to speak about players. He said Pagano will be special, Dybala sensational. After the 1st of August, I started to sleep better because his release clause got expired. Belotti, he's staying here and he will improve. So look, it's been an incredible interview. He said a lot of other things, but I just couldn't film a video which was too long. Half an hour video already. The juice part of this interview is this. It's this affection. It's this love. It's this declaration of love. So ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed it today, if this live stream left you an impact, I need you to smash the like button, share this link of the channel and of this video with your families and friends, bring them to this community. I will catch you later tonight with some transfer news. And yeah, I mean, we're almost gonna start a new season with this man, and I can't wait, because this man loves us more than anybody else. This man is a Roma fan more than anybody else. Talk to you soon. Simo, out.